It has often been said that a man's home is his castle. But actually, the last stronghold of the American male is his car. There's something special between a man and his car. The man offers his tender devotion and loving care. The car responds by being willing, agreeable, and dependable, just like any attractive but temperamental female. Yes, a car is a woman. No one ever calls his car George or Dwight. It's always Nelda or Betty Jane or even
Fleety Belle, how'd you ever get so dusty?
Mervyn Midland was no exception. He was devoted to his Fleety Belle. When they were together, they were as one. You might even say Fleety Belle was an extension of Mervyn's personality. Should anyone ever offend Fleety Belle, Mervyn was quick to chivalrously defend her dignity as a lady.
Where did he get going, you blind stupid jerk?
And Mervyn always did those little things that showed consideration for Fleety Belle's comfort, like parking her with her back to the wind. If Fleety Belle showed symptoms of feeling poorly, Mervyn was quick to have her medicated with the very best and most soothing fuel. As time passed and Fleety Belle grew older, Mervyn found that the best way to help Fleety Belle keep youthful was a treat to a complete primping at Pierre's. This never failed to give Fleety Belle a tremendous lift. Ah, yes. Mervyn was true to Fleety Belle, and Fleety Belle was true to Mervyn. That is, until one day when they were on their way to North Corrosion. It was terribly hot, and Fleety Belle began feeling strangely tired and sluggish inside. It got hotter and hotter. She tried so hard not to let Mervyn know, but soon she just couldn't keep going any longer.
Come on, Fleety Belle, we're late. What's the matter with you? Get up now. Up, I say.
Report to emergency.
And when was her oil changed last?
Why, only last week.
Was she lubricated too?
Oh, yes.
And how about her cooling system?
Huh?
Well, what seems to be your trouble?
Not me. It's Fleety Belle. She won't go.
Don't you worry. We'll soon find the trouble. Why, she's quite warm, isn't she? Let's see what we have here. Amazing. Did you change?
Gee, Doc, I'm sorry.
Wouldn't you like to look around, Mr. Midland? This will take a while.
And so today, we are going to take a look into the internal anatomy of combustus internis, more commonly known as automobile engine. Normally, they feed on gasoline, sucked up from the tank to a carburetor, which is much like this atomizer. When squirted out, it vaporizes with air, forming a combustible mixture. To use the heat created by this mixture, it must be confined to cylinders, which are shaped much like this tin can. Then our mixture is squirted into the cylinder and ignited with an electric spark. Of course, the object is not to lift tin cans, but to move a car. So we'd better fasten down the cylinder and add a piston which can be pushed out by the explosion, plus a connecting rod to a revolvable shaft. Now, we have a useful turning movement. Of course, cars have a number of these cylinders, which make up to 10,000 of these explosions a minute, and turning the shaft more rapidly. Next, let's extend this shaft on back and add gears that can turn a corner to the rear axle and wheels. Now we can see how the engine turns the wheels, making the car move. These thousands of explosions do create tremendous heat, up to 4,000 degrees at the hottest point. This heat generated by a car engine is enough to keep a 6-room house warm in 0 weather. Being confined to such a small space, all this heat could destroy the engine unless means is provided for removing some of it. A cooling system is needed, so let's set our engine in a tub of water, so it will be surrounded by a cooling jacket. But soon the water gets so hot it boils away. We must have a continuous cooling system, so we add a radiator, which can draw heat out of water by circulating air through it. A fan helps by providing a constant flow of air even when the car is standing still. Now, if we connect our water jacket to the radiator with rubber hoses and add a circulating pump to push the coolant water along, we have a continuous cooling system which acts as a conveyor belt, picking up heat from the engine, transporting it out to the radiator, where it is dumped into the passing breeze, then back to the engine for another load. Water is usually used as a coolant in this system because it has good ability to transfer heat. Also, it is readily obtained almost anywhere. But water does have a few drawbacks. It may contain harmful impurities, even marine life. And water tends to rust metal parts. But this need not cause undue concern. If we use a rust inhibitor in the water, and if we take the precaution of making sure our cooling system is regularly cleaned out. With proper care, water is almost ideal as a coolant in hot weather. In cold weather, however, water has an unfortunate tendency to freeze. And when it freezes, it expands, enough to burst the strongest metal. For this reason, we must use an antifreeze, which, when mixed properly with water, won't freeze at minus 50 degrees, won't boil away at 233 degrees, and will prevent the formation of rust. So you see...
How is she, Doc? Huh? Huh?
Well, though you've kept Fleety Belle immaculate outside, I'm afraid you neglected her inside. Look, this is Fleety Belle's cooling system. See all that filthy coating of corrosion and grime?
Where?
There, and there, and there. Fleety Belle's a very dirty girl, Mr. Midland. You've completely neglected her cooling system.
Gee. They told me she was full of permanent antifreeze when I got her, so I figured I was supposed to leave it alone.
It's a shame that word permanent is so misunderstood. That only means it will last all winter, not forever. Because inhibitors will wear out, and water impurities can build up, creating more and more corrosion until circulation is choked off. That's Fleety Belle's trouble.
Oh, gee.
So now, we'll have to operate. Nurse,
Yes, Dr. Greasebit?
alert surgery for an emergency. Drain the patient and prepare for a coolendectomy.
Yes, sir.
And nurse,
Yes, Doctor?
make sure you oil my crescent wrench. We want no slip-ups. This time.
Yes, sir.
Hurry, there's still a few seats left in the balcony. Everything ready?
Yes, Doctor.
All right. Socket wrench. so. Screwdriver. Staunch that oil, nurse, I can't see. Aha! We have a rare treat today. A cooling system with many symptoms of neglect. Notice that the radiator is badly clogged with rust deposits and must be replaced. Radiator hoses are clogged and cracked. Water pump is completely corroded. Thermostat? Dubious, but we'll save it if we can. Perhaps we're not too late to save the engine itself, though you can see the filthy rust deposits in the exposed cooling passages to the verge of imminent collapse. But we'll now see if we can save her. Sledgehammer, please, and have the chisel ready. That's all we can do. Bolt her back up and we'll see what happens.
Ready, Doctor?
Filled with coolant?
Yes, sir.
Then start her up.
Something seems to be wrong, Doctor.
Try it again.
Still won't start, Doctor.
Is the key turned on?
No, Doctor.
Well, dagnabbit, turn it on.
Oh, thank you, Doc. Thank you for saving Fleety Belle.
Oh, it was nothing.
Can I take her home now?
Yes, just one more little thing. Mr. Midland, now that Fleety Belle's back in sound, healthy condition, she should give you lots of pleasant driving if you'll follow this simple prescription. First, take a look at her temperature gauge frequently. If she starts to heat up over normal, have her checked right away before anything serious develops. Next, be sure her coolant level is checked whenever you stop in for service. If it's low, find out why. Then for a carefree winter, use a good all-winter antifreeze set for a safe temperature. And in the summer, use water with a rust inhibitor. And don't ever forget that it's just as important to keep your car clean inside as it is to keep her clean outside. So bring Fleety Belle in for a regular cooling system checkup. It's just as vital to her health as having your teeth checked regularly is to yours.
Thank you, Doc. We'll take good care of each other from now on.
And so we say farewell to Mervyn and Fleety Belle, who lived happily ever after, because they had learned to enjoy the pleasure of a carefree ride with their cooling system sparkling clean inside.